He is in the World Championship final tomorrow against Kyrone Wilson.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense, but what does make sense, Ronnie O'Sullivan's got to win the last 3 frames. That's what he needs, a few more shots like that. Try and force the error from Mark Selby. That was an excellent safety. Listen, we know that Ronnie can reel off 3 frames in 30 minutes, but up against an opponent like Mark Selby, is he going to get any chances? Straight away he's looking at cutting this red into the left little pocket. He looked at the angle, changed his mind playing the other one, but who knows where this might go. What about the pocket?
One.
What an absolute gem of a pop he's pulled out there.
Yeah, this is what I mean about unpredictability. And Mark Selby's just got to try and just blank out, because trying to pick out Ronnie's shot selection at the moment is pretty tricky.
6.
Into the main bunch here, you would think.
$13. 14. 17. 18.
Decent chance this. Reds go to both corner pockets. Obviously the red near the right middle pocket. You see the red is playing for there. Struck that beautifully.
25. 26. 33. 34.
Another gorgeous little touch shot.
41.
Through the gap. When he's in the balls like this, it's
42.
It's back to normal. It's the rest of the game that looks very unpredictable.
49.
This is bread and butter. This scoring round the pink
50.
and black. This is easy peasy stuff.
Yeah, you're looking at a player that's been in 6 finals here at the Crucible and won 5 of them.
57.
Mark
58.
Selby's been in 4 finals and he's won 3. So 2 of the all-time greats here. Red colour and
65.
frames over.
66.
Just don't know what's going to happen next in this semi-final.
73. 74.
Well, I said he could win 3 frames in under half an hour. Hasn't taken him long to win this one, Stephen.
Yeah, that's why I keep repeating. It's really tough for Mark Selby to concentrate on what he's here to do, because the shots Ronnie played in the last frame looked as if he wasn't bothered whether he won or lost, but then he gets
82.
in this frame and just switches it on. Very tough for that man in the chair, not knowing what's going to happen next. As I say, all you can do is focus on your own game, and when you get to the table, one shot at a time.
87. 88.
This break has just been just beautiful to watch. It really has.
$95. 96.
Well, that's another magnificent century break, the second of this match.
103.
He's made 11 now
104.
in this year's World Championship. Well, surely we couldn't have another semi-final
111.
going to a deciding frame. You wouldn't bet against it.
113. 116. 120. 125. 131.
7 minutes of pure genius from Ronnie O'Sullivan. And he now trails by just 1 frame at 16-15.
Just incredible, a joy to watch, absolutely gorgeous. This is where we are, 77 tournament centuries this year, 2020. As you can see, 2019, 100. It appears to me that, that Ronnie is in control when he's in control, if you know what I mean.
I'm glad something appears to you, because nothing's appearing to me. I mean, what is going on in this game? He looks like in the last like he's absolutely thrown it, and all of a sudden he gets in with a screaming red into the green bag, which is just a phenomenal pot, and makes 138. I mean, it's been the most surreal day watching snooker, and it's just carrying on. I have no idea what's going on.
It's gone from almost the ridiculous to the sublime there. I mean, that's Ronnie in his pomp. You know, the last frame was not Ronnie in his pomp whatsoever. It looked like he'd given up. You know, But that's the Ronnie we all want to see play, you know, and that is it just doesn't get any better than that, you know, and particularly under this pressure. He's playing almost like he's in an exhibition, like he's no care in the world, and it doesn't matter where he wins or loses. He just go and play like he's in practice or in an exhibition. It's amazing. As Stephen said, the adverse effect could be on Mark Selby. How does he cope with it? What does he have to do? This guy looks like he wants to give up, and now all of a sudden he's trying. How do I try and cope with this lad?
I don't know what he's thinking. I have no idea, honestly. He's just got to keep doing his stuff and hope his chance comes, Mark. But, I mean, that was just unbelievable talent after
just
looking
incredible.
like he was going out the championship.
And a joy to watch.
Well, as I mentioned before, what a treat snooker fans have had at home all day with the 2 semi-finals, and fabulous entertainment all day. A very, very special day. Wow, what a pot.
One.
What a shot that was. The one in the frame before to start was a terrific pot. This is even better.
Eight.
Well, I'll say it the right way round. If the last frame was sublime, that was ridiculous. That long pot. Is that a new saying Ken's come up with, is it? From ridiculous to the sublime.
That's probably the best pot in the championship, believe it or not, under the circumstances.
15.
Still a couple of loose reds there at the back of that little bunch.
$22. 23. 30. 31.
And just the one more red available. He wanted to finish low on it so that he could bring more reds into play.
38.
And he has. Well, Mark Selby just can't do a single thing about this. He's sitting in his seat and he just wants one chance to get himself into the final, but at the moment he can't get that chance.
$44. 45. 51. 52.
'Cleared the table with 138 in 7 minutes in the previous frame.
57.
Just coming up to 4 minutes for this effort.
58.
I think he's just okay, you know. I think he can get past the blue.
65. $66.
Just the blue to leave Mark needing a snooker. This is quite incredible what we're watching here, Stephen.
Yeah.
71.
This is what he does.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 71.
Had the split have worked out, I'm sure he would have gone on to clear the table again. One 4-point snooker required to tie at the moment.
I'm sure Mark Selby is a bit shell-shocked at the moment. He's seen Ronnie, the frame that let Selby get to 16, play a series of just outlandish shots, and then he's seen Ronnie not put a foot wrong for 2 frames.
That to keep Mark Selby in his seat, even if Ronnie misses this red. I'm waiting for the nod, and there it is. Absolutely incredible. As like the first semi-final, we're down to a last frame shootout. We're all square, 6 frames each.
A cracking day stroke night of snooker, John.
Unbelievable day's play. From the first semi-final, which was just had one of the best frames ever seen and witnessed at the Crucible, to 16 all. And how he's turned this round from looking like he wanted the exit door. The last 2 frames have been unbelievable. Him at his absolute best. And Mark Selby's brain must be scrambled. I don't care who he is. He must be sitting there thinking, what has gone on here? Because he looked like he had his man, looked like he had him beat, and he's just produced 2 brilliant frames.
Well, the boys in commentary used that word, shell-shock, Ken.
Yeah, I mean, we're shell-shocked here, because a complete transformation. Whatever he said to himself in the dressing room when he went out with 16-14 has certainly worked, because he's come out, I mean, those last 2 frames couldn't get any better. I mean, the opening red, even in this last frame, was just ridiculous. I mean, have a look at this. Tied under the ball cushion.
Wow.
He couldn't have cued it any better. And it's just... Selby be sitting in his chair saying, what do I have to do against this guy? Because I had him. He had him. And it wasn't like he let him off the hook. It's just Ronnie has just come out completely foreign. Incredible snooker.
I mean, who'd you pick in the last frame? I mean, does he carry on in the same vein? I mean, you'd be frightened to death to leave a red out.
But also, John, as Ken says, how many opponents throughout Ronnie O'Sullivan's career have found themselves in that position where you say, what more can I do?
Well, what more can you do? I've never seen a match like this with Ronnie. You've seen him play bizarre shots, but in a semi-final of a world champion, I don't think we've ever seen the likes of this ever on a semi-final day. And if I was in Mark Selby's shoes, I'd just try and wait for a chance. But you might not get it. You might be sitting in your chair. He's been sitting in his chair for the last two frames and hadn't hit a ball. So it's very hard to play against, but he's pulled it out of the bag so far.
And John, just whilst we're on that picture of Ronnie O'Sullivan, apologies for those people who heard this at the beginning of the tournament. I said that I've had the honour and the privilege of being at some of the world's biggest sporting events, but watching this fella in this type of mood is up there with World Cup finals, Six Nations matches, some of the greatest end to sporting matches I've ever seen. Watching him in full flow is like that.
Oh, Tiger Woods at his absolute best. You know, which, you know, the absolute pinnacles and icons. And as the two players touch elbows in for a final frame, and all you want is a chance. Will you get one?
Here we go. Enjoy it.
Ronnie O'Sullivan gets the final frame of this semi-final underway.
I was going to say, Dennis, any predictions? Because I haven't got a single clue what's going to happen in this frame after what's gone on today.
The only thing I can say is with the red going next to the black, it's not going to be an open frame just yet.
Selby, you would think we'll be hoping for a more tactical frame, but the kind of shot choices Ronnie's coming out with, he might not be allowed. He might not be able to get his way. Ronnie seems determined to just shake things up.
And straight away opens the black up. Didn't matter about the snooker, it was all about just clearing the black spot area there. It was always going to be an easy escape.
This is lovely if you're Karen Wilson, isn't it? He's already through the final. He says he's having a couple of beers, just sit back and watch these two suffer a decider, and he's already in the final.
Yes, I don't blame Karen for having a few beers after that semi-final. That was one of the greatest frames of snooker that I've ever witnessed at the Crucible. Has he gone too hard, or has he covered this? He's got the cover. They've had 3 final frame deciders in matches. Semi-final of the 2007 UK Championship, Ronnie won that 9-8. Final of the Welsh 2008, Mark Selby won that 9-8. And the final of the Masters 2010, Mark won that in the deciding frame 10-9. They've had some unbelievable matches down the years. Looks to be a straightforward safety shot down the right side of the table. Just concerned about pushing a red towards the left corner, but you just play the shot as you see it and make sure you get a good cue ball.
Well, it seems to be normal service resumed for this deciding frame. I was half expecting him to try and put the red down the cushion there.
3 frames ago he would have had a go at that. Well, whoever wins this deciding frame will be able to have a lie-in the morning before they commence the final. It starts at 1:30. But who's going to be in that final with Kyron Wilson? Fascinating to find out.
We've gone 7 minutes now without a ball being potted. Ronnie Sullivan made that century break in 7 minutes. Has Mark left the first opportunity? He has. Needs good cueing. Long straight pot. And it is
1.
good straight cueing. Beautiful shot. And that'll stun across for the red. It's on the black cushion, and if he gets a good angle in the black, see the 2 reds at the back of the putt, just through the gap there. If he can get the cue ball through that gap, well, they'll just split beautifully. Didn't want to catch the red in the way past, but he's still okay.
Eight.
You see the 2 reds closest to the black, the back of the bunch. You can get it through that gap. Oh,
9.
I think it was only because that was dead weight, but I don't think that was going in, that red. It's too much angle to find that gap here. But I think that'll do nicely. I mean, the cue ball actually had right hand side in it, but this didn't look in. Hmm.
17.
Well, going by the 2 previous frames, it's not looking good for Mark Selby.
Gone a little awkward here. You would have thought he was
24.
going to be nicely on his next red, but the cannon has just left things slightly awkward. Just an inch either way, and he was perfect there. It's a good recovery shot. That's a fabulous recovery shot. And what a chance he's given himself here. He's had breaks of 138 and 71 to level the scores. Mark Selby hasn't had a chance in the last 2 frames and a bit.
$28.
Well, it looks a bit tight.
$29.
Well, there must have been
32.
a few, well, a lot of people watching the frames before these last 2.5 that questioned Ronnie's desire and commitment to win this match, the shots he was playing.
33.
Can't question it now.
40. 41.
There's not another player in the game could have produced this sort of performance.
$48.
Mark has beaten Ronnie on 2 occasions at the Crucible.
49.
Well, it's just unbelievable. Mark Selby hasn't had a
56.
chance in the last 3 frames.
That's the thing, to do these last,
57.
to 0 these last 3 frames the way he's done it. And he's just found a gear from somewhere.
It's a top gear he's found, that's for sure.
$64.
One long straight pot up past the green into the corner. No, no, would you believe it? Would you believe it?
Ronnie
He
O'Sullivan,
was 2
64.
pots away from a place in the final.
Well, after what we've seen in the first semi-final today, anything's possible. But if Mark Selby was to somehow do this, wow. Well, I would have seen everything today, I tell you. Frozen out for 2.5 frames. This would be the clearance of his life.
8. $9.
There's a
16.
couple of reds are just a little awkward. Ronnie was 2 pots away from getting into the final there.
$17.
And a very key shot coming up. If he pots the pink, leaves an angle on that red to the left of it, he can bring the difficult red into play. Now he's got the perfect angle, but the only problem is to show you that pink wobble
23.
when you move a red from potting a red. You need the white to come away from the cushion. And he's got the double kiss.
24.
And it's not too bad, but there's an awful lot of pressure on this black.
Oh, this is a horrible shot to drop this black in.
And that's why Vicky there, I mean, she's watched all her husband's great wins here, but nothing quite like this. Right in the middle of the pocket.
$30.
Just planning his route to get to that difficult red to the left of the yellow.
Yeah, I think I'd probably try and come around the back of the black. Have two cushions, play the black into the left corner. If you go a little bit too far, you got pink to left middle.
And that's where he'd love to get the cue ball in a couple of shots time. Just about 12 to 18 inches from the red.
$31.
Well, I think he's okay. I think he can reach the green and get over behind that red. Might be a bit of a stretch. He's coming around to have a look at the blue. The green's a much easier pot. So it's back to the green. Oh, the tension. Even though there's no one in the crucible, is quite something.
Yeah, do you play two cushions in behind the red? Or one cushion. He's gone the two cushions, but he's not played it well. He's got into the cue ball too much. That's end of break.
34.
£30 the difference. Ronnie just needs the red. Mark needs the lot.
Mark Selby, 34.
Just be playing this dead weight just to land on the red. The best he could do. He might be in trouble here if he can get thin enough. Ronnie, as he looks at the table there, he knows he might be in behind the black. Oh, he's going to cannon the black. Still a good safety though. Oh, that's a useful nudge on the yellow. If the red keeps running, that is.
Oh, it's just, you just can't believe how both semi-finals have finished today. The tension, incredible. Brilliant. He is granite.
Now, what about this for an outcome? A hit and hope, and I'll tell you what an outcome he's had there. He just was relying on a bit of good fortune. And has he had good fortune?
Outrageous. This is outrageous.
This would be some shot here. Coming off the side cushion, and he's trying to kick the red from behind. If anybody could pull it off, it's Mark Selby. That is absolute genius. What a shot. And Ronnie tapping the table. You won't see a better shot than that.
Calling all pockets here, though. Oh, restraint. Oh, wow, this is just unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. What next, Dennis?
Well, I've never enjoyed a day's snooker like it. I watched the other semi-final last session back at the hotel. I was on the edge of the sofa, and now to commentate on this, it's just doesn't get any better. This is incredible stuff.
You can play the swerve, but the danger, if you get a little double kiss, you can just leave the red over the middle pocket. Or the cue ball can hit the left-hand side of the red as he looks and catch the jaw of the middle pocket and come back. So this is not easy for Mark Selby.
That was the problem there. But what a tough red up into the corner pocket. It's frame and match ball. It's there. It's there. An absolutely incredible pressure pot. And that, you would feel, will get him into the final. What a match these two players have provided. Not quite over just yet.
3.
But it won't be long, you feel.
5.
Every credit to Mark Selby. When he led 16-14, there looked to be only one winner, but at the time I said Ronnie O'Sullivan can come out and win 3 frames in a matter of half an hour. He had a 138 clearance. And he had a 70-odd break. And this is the first time
70.
that he's beaten Mark Selby at the Crucible Theatre. What an absolute semi-final. This has been two great champions. Mark congratulates Ronnie. An unbelievable comeback from the Rocket, Ronnie O'Sullivan. And somehow he's got himself into tomorrow's final, beating the 3 times former champion on a deciding frame, 17 frames to 16. Unbelievable.
What a comeback from 16-14.
Yeah, to be honest with you, for 3 days I've just been trying to look for a cue action where I can hit the ball sort of straight, half straight, you know what I mean? It was just like, it's like a golfer just being in the rough every time off the tee, and you just got to like chip it out, chip on the greens, try and find something from somewhere. And I've been trying to do that for like, I don't know, like 15 days now, and it gets tiring in the end because, you know, you just want to just be able to just find a little slot where you can just strike the ball and, you know, where it's sliding nicely, but me, it's like a seesaw, you know, it's like it's going all over the gaff. And then I'm watching him cue up, and he's just got the perfect setup, the perfect stance, he's locked in, rock solid, don't look like he's going to miss. And I'm like, I'm having to play that for 3 days. So I just tried to make the score look respectable because, you know, I was just, you know, you can see by some of my play it wasn't great, you know.
But it was a tremendous position to come back from. We're used to seeing him as the comeback king, but this was your turn to do it to him. Yeah,
well, I started standing. I started to get my left hip a little bit nearer the table, so it kind of felt me a little bit more engaged with the table. So I thought there's no point looking for a cue action now at 16-14. You're a million. So I thought just try and stand a little bit closer to the table, and that kind of helped my timing out a little bit. I was still hitting them fat, thick, and cutting across it and scooping it. But I just thought, you know what, as long as I'm getting a decent connection, then I've got half a chance of the ball going in the hole, you know. So, but yeah, it was just all I got lucky, really, I suppose.
Well, some luck, but I mean, you played so well in those last few frames. How satisfying to beat the man who denied you the 6th title in 2014?
To be honest with you, I'm just more interested in the cue action. You know, I'm looking at the cue action. I'm thinking, if you can get a cue action, then you got half a chance. You know, like whoever you play. You know. And even if I did have a good cue action, then, you know, it'd still be a tough match against Mark because, you know, you just drive him to play better. I think I kind of just dragged him down, really, to be honest with you, to my level. So, yeah, I think like all players would be the same, like all golfers and snooker players are the same. We just want to find the perfect swing, the perfect action. And if you got that, then, you know, you just enjoy playing. But when you ain't got a good action, mate, it's proper tough graft.
But how much are you now relishing being back in the World Championship final? It's the ultimate match.
No, like I said, it all goes back to the cue action. If you can find that little slot where you're cueing the ball nicely and you're going through the middle, you know, that's snooker. You know, all this sort of World Championships and all that. To me, it's you know, you ask any snooker player, any golfer, they'll say the same. You know, it's all about the action. If you've got a decent action, then you'd enjoy playing in the basement somewhere on your own. You know, it's just a beautiful game played beautifully. But when it's not being played beautifully, it's a nightmare.
But snooker's about great stories as well, and this is your chance to join Reardon and Davis.
I believe it's about the cue actions. You know what I mean? I'm not buying into these stories and world titles, and it's all about. I'm into cue actions. You know, I bought the Joe Davis book and I started reading it. And if you want to go and read it yourself, he'll tell you it's all about the cue action. And he's the father of snooker. And as far as I'm concerned, he talks the same language as me. And I need to get a cue action from somewhere. I mean, I might go on Amazon later and see if Bezos can deliver me one tomorrow. They're quite good on their ASAP on their deliveries, aren't they?
Yeah, maybe not quite that quick. Just finally, will you enjoy it, do you think, tomorrow?
Well, if I can find a cue action from somewhere, then I'm going to love it. But if I can't find a cue action, it's just going to be like more like in the fairway, chip out, see what you can do. You know, it's all about the cue action, mate. You know, everything comes cue action first, and everything else is just a bonus.
Well, even if you're not quite looking forward to it, we are. Well done tonight.
I'm sure you'll enjoy it.